What's up, everybody? Dr. Courtney Morse, Natural Wellness Physiotherapy. I get this question from time to time, and they are wanting to know, a lot of patients want to know, is midfoot striking right for them? And so my general philosophy on this thing is there is not one perfect way for somebody to run. If you don't have any issues with heel striking, you're not having injuries, and you get by just fine, cool, keep doing it. If you've gone through and you've made all the changes, you're doing all the homework for hip strength and ankle mobility, and you're still having issues, it might be a time to try that thing out. Now, the most difficult thing about this is the load progression on this thing, is when we transition to midfoot striking, it has to be slowly. And so, just to explain what midfoot striking is, typically when most people run anymore is that they're running and their heel hits here first, okay? And then they shift their weight over the top of it and they push off this way, okay? That's how most of us run. We all tend to start when we're little kids as midfoot strikers here, almost like we're jumping rope, right? And so the thought process on this is it's going to reduce the impact on some of my joints because instead of me hitting with a relatively straight knee, I'm kind of landing on springs, right? So when we make that transition, it is not necessarily about your footwear, but it's about how you land and how slowly you transition to that new stepping process. So in general, I say, hey, if you're gonna go out and run 3 miles today, start with maybe half a mile or 1 mile at that midfoot strike. And if you're going, and then run the other 2 in your normal position, right? I would also tell you, don't immediately go down to an ultra or a 0 millimeter drop on your shoe because that is just going to be too much load for your Achilles and tendons in your calves to handle. That's where most people have their biggest issue, is they start building up an Achilles tendonitis because they push it too quickly and they start getting overuse of those tissues down and through there. So make sure that you have good ankle mobility, make sure you have good hip strength, also make sure you have good toe mobility. And if you're still having issues with heel striking, it's still giving you injuries, you might start playing with some midfoot striking, but don't go too quickly and too soon. If you have questions about this stuff, this is a pretty complex issue, message us, shoot us a DM, or comment below, and we'll be happy to jump on there and answer those questions for you, because this is a big can of worms here. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you need to, check out our Pain-Free Runners checklist. We'll list that sucker down below as well too. A great way to see if your tissues are ready to run.